IRL friends of social media influencers. What is it like? I dated one. Not super popular but followers in the 100k range last time we spoke. I remember a lot of getting ignored and only receiving nice gifts, acts of kindness when they could post about it. Asking me to go to nice places. They didn't drive, only to leave me on a bench somewhere while they took pictures. Huge strain on the relationship. Especially when they started to get bigger and there was more demand for content. She hasn't come to anything I've invited her to in 5 years because she only goes to events that further her business. Regularly says things like, "We're all using each other for something." Sometimes she texts me the same exact thing word for word over a couple of days. And it's obvious she just copy pastes the same thing and sends it to all of us and then forgets who she has sent it to. She still reaches out to me multiple times a year and claims I'm one of her best friends. But it sure doesn't feel like it. I've told her as much. But she just says this is my life now. My business comes first, and if you can't accept that, then I guess you're not a real friend. It's annoying AF. One of my buddies is constantly filming everything we do and posting it. It's to the point where people walk up to me on the street and ask me about him because they've seen me in his posts. I have no idea who they are. It dominates everything he does. And has severely impacted his personal relationships. He can't keep a GF, and it's clearly related to this obsession of his. He does occasionally get some cool stuff out of it though. After pretty much kicking him out of my life because I do not want to be continually posted online. We've come to the understanding that when he's about to take a pic or video, he hands me the phone so I'm not in the shot. Works okay for me. Friends with a high profile athlete who is pretty popular on Insta. Is always on the phone. Never lives in the moment. If we are doing anything fun, well, it basically didn't happen unless the world knows about it. It's just annoying. I can't imagine living for the approval or satisfaction of others. I know a wannabe influencer. She will reply to her own posts from her husband's account praising herself. Then she will reply to those posts as herself thanking him. It's hilarious. Like Inception for Facebook. I post travel photos and have about 200 followers. 200. Not 2000 or higher. My friend somehow thought that was influencer status and decided to copy me, except she quit her job so she could travel more and grow her own brand. In 2020, she lost her apartment, her car, and still hasn't found a job, but calls herself a professional influencer all the same. To be honest, it's really shitty. I feel like I've been completely forgotten about and like I don't matter anymore. Pretty mundane. Honestly. My friend is conventionally attractive. And if you look at her social media, you'd think she were a supermodel millionaire who goes on tons of trips. She's actually chronically unemployed. And has an income of less than 10k. Her boyfriend makes about $60k, which is enough to afford them a very nice 1-2-bedroom apartment. And she has tons of props she uses to make each room look different from day to day, so it seems like she's always in a new exotic place. They take 2 trips a year to fun, tropical places, in which she takes many photos and posts them as different places throughout the year. She's a very kind, considerate, sparkling personality. But whenever we hang out, I tend to be a shoulder to cry on as she laments about her lack of success in life. It's quite sad, honestly. But with her creativity and personality, I think she'll achieve her dreams eventually. Sad. In the beginning they started because they got offers from brands because they were so popular on Instagram and it was a lot of fun for them. Now they don't ever post pictures or videos without a filter. Rarely ever like a picture on the first try, and don't you dare post any pictures of them without getting their approval for it. Imagine trying to get a group picture with all of your friends for your birthday but having you take almost 100 shots to get one that your influencer friend is happy with. Also, in the beginning I would like and comment on all of their posts, but now that's not enough. They expect me message it others, share it on my stories and my page, Something about new rhythms and likes not being important anymore. I hate posting stuff to my page, but I do it anyway to be supportive. It is so tiring. They do get free things sometimes though that they sometimes share with me. Not worth it, emo. She became a horrible self-centered bully. Exactly as fake and staged as you imagine it to be. The on-camera moments are completely non-genuine. It is in the end just an acting modeling job and not their real personality. So incredibly annoying. I actually ended up cutting her off because everything had to be a photo opportunity. We could never just go out to lunch or see a movie without it turning into a photoshoot. She never did anything with our friend group unless it was aesthetic. And even then, she was so focused on getting us to take photos that A, she didn't get to enjoy the activity, and B, it started bringing everyone else down because they couldn't participate either. And this sounds so petty, but she could never just show up in a t-shirt and leggings, because photos. Obviously. Like even sleepovers and movie nights had to be a big production, and sometimes you just need to stuff your face with popcorn and look like a slob. It's good for the soul. She'd also complain a lot about how hard her job was. Our friendship group at the time consisted of an EMT, 2 nurses, a teacher, and me who was juggling university, tutoring, and working retail. Lyle. I'm sure she had challenges and all jobs are hard sometimes. But, girl, you get paid to take selfies with free stuff and show up at events looking pretty. A girl in my homeschool group in middle school was always bragging about how her parents had a YouTube channel with thousands of subscribers. She was really arrogant about it and I didn't enjoy spending time with her because she was a brat. The funny thing is nobody ever believed her, including myself, until one day I stumbled across a video of theirs while scrolling through YouTube. Sure enough, they had thousands of subscribers. She hadn't been lying and I was shocked. Now they have well over 1 million. She is annoying. There's no other word to describe her. Feel sorry for her because she is a person that needs attention all the time. Got a friend with 75k subscribers on YouTube in a language other than English. It used to be about their weekend getaways with nice drone shots. It was interesting. Then, gradually became about their lives. How interesting is. She'd get her phone camera out at sometimes random moments, which could get annoying. She got pregnant. Baby everything now. I sold my place to one a while ago. One of those newly green, sustainable, body positivity types. Pretty much everything about what this person projects as her social media image is fake as it turned out. It was quite a sobering experience. Honestly, she's really nice. She hosted a book club in a bar I worked at and would always order wine or pretty cocktails for photos. But once everyone left, she'd sit at the bar and shoot the shit with me while drinking yard beers. I have a friend who has recently started trying to become one. It's so dumb. She posts half-naked pictures of herself with captions that have nothing to do with the picture. She spends hours getting ready for her iPhone photo shoots and has little time for anything besides content creation. Being an influencer is pretty much against everything I care about and stand for. So I envision us slowing drifting further apart. That shit's stupid. Picture in black underwear. Full makeup bending over in the mirror. Gotta take my dog to the vet today, guys. I went on a date with one and it was just frustrating. Pleasant enough girl, but she was on her phone a lot. I had sympathy since it's her job, but I felt ignored a lot of the time we were together. Everything is fake. The attitude, the mannerisms. Everything. It sounds stupid until you realize they clear close to 7 figures a year. One time we vacationed with them and when we were out at dinner they said to us, 1 second, we need to go film a bit, and they went from our friends who are calm and nice to the hey guys, we are in the beautiful South France, annoying people everyone loves to hate. Sad. You watch them slowly mentally degrade. Always ends in full-blown NPD or them having literally zero self-confidence. Their goal is to meet artificial metrics in terms of likes, views, follows. For a lot of them, that's their definition of success goal in life, and if they are not hitting it, they have failed as people in their minds. So they go one of two routes. Number 1 is thinking that they're really not good enough and don't deserve to be liked, which leads to a total lack of confidence in them becoming a shell of the person they were. Number 2 is narcissism, where they come to the conclusion that they're the best person ever and no one else knows what they're talking about. And every single flaw, fault, or mistake they have made is someone else's fault. Not a friend per se, but my ex's sister is an influencer, beauty makeup, with over 1 million followers on it. She was so anxious and stressed all the time. Horribly insecure. If she got some backlash or bad comments, she'd be so upset. Was on a lot of anti-anxiety medication. Meanwhile, all the posts are her looking beautiful and traveling, etc. She didn't have many friends either, that I saw anyway. Just lots of fans. It looked horrible. Ruined the illusion for me that their lifestyles are perfect happy, and I'm thankful for being able to see behind the curtain. My wife has a friend that thinks she is a Kardashian with her 80k followers and does everything for the gram lol. My cousin is a moderately successful Instagram model and she absolutely hates it. She hates her fans. Finds them all cringy and pathetic. Hates the drama and how PC it all is. IRL, she's very conservative traditional. Only does it because it's the only way she can make money. She dropped out of school and endorsing products and taking pictures of herself is the only way she knows how to pay rent. IRL, she's basically the complete opposite of the happy bubbly ditzy girl she plays online, and we often laugh over some of the messages she receives. How do people not realize it's all an act? I mean, damn. It took all of 15 picoseconds of my GF showing me people she follows on Instagram to realize these aren't authentic people living realistic lives. And I'm a ducking moron. Not an influencer as such. But I worked as an animator for an educational kids YouTube channel for a number of years. My boss was obsessed with views and subscriber count. A big part of one of my colleagues' jobs was spending hours trawling through all our competitors' videos and channels, putting all their views and subscriber counts into a massive spreadsheet. He also couldn't work out why none of his employees were as invested in the channel as he was, and why we weren't all clamoring to do huge amounts of unpaid overtime in the name of furthering the channel's growth. When I got hired, the channel had just passed 1 meter subs and 1B views, and both those numbers doubled by the time I left. This was a few years ago, before YouTube Kids was even a thing. But kids videos always get a huge amount of views. Last I heard, he had fired all of his remaining employees and was making unboxing videos alone in his house that get hardly any views. My sister has tens of thousands of followers. We used to be best friends in high school and she was my favorite sibling. I'm number 7 out of 8 kids in my family. I know my parents are crazy. Now I feel like I barely know her. It's like she's this shell of the person she used to be. Seriously, I've never met anyone who could make me laugh as hard as she used to make me laugh. Now I just sort of want to blow my brains out when I'm around her. She's just so obsessed and fake now. It actually makes me really sad. I've driven 3 hours. Hiked 1 hour. They took a couple of photos over about 5 minutes and then bitched that they were ready to go home. Sometimes they will buy unhealthy but grammable food, take photos of them licking it, and then throwing it out. I also have a friend who when overseas will set alarms for like 3 AM to wake up and post their photos from the day at the peak time back home. I haven't seen them for a while. He was cool but at the same time difficult. Get him alone and he was okay. But go out places with him and he started unnecessary drama and was super emotional. I ended up not being friends with him after a convention we went to. He caused a lot of trouble for me and my friends. It sucked cause I was the one who intervened and allowed him to stay, and all of my friends were super upset with him. So I felt like I allowed a lot of the issues. Hope he's doing okay though. One of my best friends dated a really Insta famous guy. He invited us to his house for a Christmas party, and this is when I realized how fake social media was. The guy didn't have the car he paraded on social media. He leased it. Took several photo shoots with it. Then gave it back. His house was in a different city than he claimed. I don't think it was for security reasons though. He said he lived in a very rich city but his house was in a more modest place. He asked me to send him the videos I took at the party. Posted them. And didn't even tag me because I didn't have enough followers. The worst part was that all the social media people at the party just kept yelling over each other trying to make the next big joke. But none of them were funny. Dude has millions of people fooled. Not friends with any anymore. But I used to work in San Diego nightlife and I had to rub elbows with a lot of these types. I'm talking 1-6M follower type girls who were brought into the club as promoters. Back in 2016 when 1 meter followers was a big deal. The girls themselves aren't that bad. Some are crazy entitled. But for the most part they're there for business and SD is a small enough town that reputation matters. The worst were the subsuckers. Other girls who had fewer than 1 meter followers. Who hung around to try and soak up subscribers and make contacts in the industry. Think of them like small time actors who think they're a big deal just because they have a few pilots in production. I'm not big now. But you should kiss my ass because I'm the next big thing types. These girls would literally do nothing but take pictures all night, or all day. Depending on the club, and demand free bottles. Extra service. And other garbage without ever tipping. Duck influencers. My sister is an influencer and honestly, it hasn't changed her. Most people don't change if they're truly passionate for something. Most of time they're just happier. For my sister it was makeup. And now she's really happy. Those who change aren't doing something because it's what they want anymore. It's what the consumer want. So just remember this. Don't let anyone change who you are. I have a neighbor who is an influencer. She uses her kids and behind the scenes is nothing like the happy pictures. She screams at them to smile and on one occasion said I don't give a FK if you don't like the FKN juice. Just pretend and smile. It's all fake and I hate it. I was best friends with a now influencer. She's a genuine person but also lies. If that makes sense. She very much about empower women and helping people accept themselves and build their confidence. Which is a great platform. However, some of the anecdotes she tells about struggling with fitting in when she was a teen are blatant lies. She was popular and every guy had a crush on her. I don't want to undermine whatever internal struggle she faced. But when she tells stories about bullying in high school, they're lies. She's genuine about wanting to be positive for people. I just wish she did it a bit more honestly. I was friends with one half of a now divorced famous gay couple. He seemed much happier with the boyfriend before the one he became famous with. They weren't really a good match and were pretty much doomed from the start. The relationship was basically the reason our friendship ended. Also, there was this whole story built up about the other one who was bisexual, but supposedly had never been with a guy before. That was far from true. He'd been with a lot of guys before their relationship. It wasn't a secret. So many pictures. Of everything. You think they want to go a park for fresh and a good walk. Then all of a sudden you're taking 59 pictures of their feet near a tree. Not a friend of an influencer. But I am an influencer I guess. I have 150k plus on YouTube. It was so much fun to start with. But now all I feel is constant pressure. If I make one mistake, I could lose everything I've spent years building. I'm never sure whether new friends like me for me, or because they want clout. Even though my content is focused on true crime. And not me. Having that many people watch you and comment on your appearance. The way you talk. etc. can really duck you up. Completely distorts your idea of self if you don't find ways to step back. Having non-social media friends really helps bring you back to earth. And trying to treat it was a typically 9-5. My friend is very popular on Instagram and TikTok for her roller skating and her sense of style. Doesn't bother me because she's an amazing roller skater and has decided to fully not give a duck and embrace her dream of being a magical girl. Think Sailor Moon. She inspires the rest of our skate crew to record ourselves more, if not for anything other than to show our progress. Worked for a channel with millions of YouTube subscribers for 10 months. The on-camera influencer was a pretty decent person and we made some good work together. I worked remote. There's not really any interesting tidbits other than I would check Twitter and Instagram to see what my boss was doing when I couldn't reach him. I was offered a chance to move where they were at and live with them but declined. Guy I lived with does weed-oriented videos and has about 100k subs. Didn't even know until he mentioned it in passing one day. Big ups Joe. I know 2 relatively popular influencers for my region and the US. It's super strange when I'm in the posts knowing that 50k plus people who I don't know now know my Insta handle if I'm tagged. They also act very different online than in person. One of them is a fashion influencer and she is very shy and reserved in person, so it still boggles my mind she is trying so hard to get followers. Always complaining about the algorithm and talking to her audience like she has a celebrity status following but would be pretty shy in front of a room full of people. Just entertaining and weird. Had a friend who did YouTube videos and was pretty big in this niche community. It was fun for 10 seconds and then it was super cringy. I was so self-aware of everything I was doing. Knowing I could be shared on YouTube. I got grumpy when she would pull out the camera so she wouldn't film me. Some of her fans used to like me and tell her to hang out with me. So she wanted us to do videos more but I would just avoid the topic. Eventually she had a fight with my best friend and stopped hanging out with us. Then there was drama of why she wasn't hanging out with us. It was so annoying. Thankfully I was a quick phase in her video career. So didn't lose much. My friend has 130k plus subs on YouTube with a channel that sounds completely bonkers. Endless drama. Crazy stories. etc. Has the habit of using a baby voice and referring to herself in third person. I roll. She's the most sane, level-headed and chill person. She's just sharp AF and knows what sells. I do wonder how these people will turn out when they get older. Granted, most of them are older. The TikTok kids are all in their early to mid 20s. And basically targeting teenage girls. So that's going to pretty much set them up for some serious trouble down the line. I had a friend who was an influencer. I had the gall to ask her if she travels with a photographer or if she just asks whoever is nearby everywhere she goes. She was not impressed by that. Then she posts her umpteenth starting a new chapter in my career post and I commented that she's got more new chapters than Harry Potter. Again, she was not impressed with my wit but her mom sure was. My wife is an influencer in a particular niche. She's not a megastar, but has a solid following with a high engagement rate. She mostly sticks to Twitter and YouTube. She doesn't let it dominate our life and keeps her social media time confined to work hours. This took some learning, because we allowed it to bleed into our personal life at first, but calibrated for that work-home life balance. Close bracket. I have a job that pays well enough, so she is free to pursue this without the worry of will it pay the bills? Full stop. This is very important as influencer profits can be wildly inconsistent. Close bracket. She makes roughly the equivalent of minimum wage plus we get a bunch of free stuff from some companies that we love. And we also regularly go to conventions for free and get to rub shoulders with some fairly famous people when we go. So, that's pretty cool.